Hey everyone, it's Amy Dugan here, and today I'm going to talk to you about lessons that I've learned from building my tech startup that you can apply to your service-based business. Lesson number 1, don't be afraid to fail and fail hard every single day. If I've learned one thing, it's that building a tech startup is 1,000 times harder than building a service-based business, and it pushes you out of your comfort zone every single day. And a lot of people building a service-based business might be afraid to send a simple outreach message out, or might be afraid to film a video of themselves talking. Well, guess what? That is nothing compared to raising investment, pitching to investors, talking to customers, trying to sell software that has bugs, and all kinds of crazy things go on when you're building a tech startup. So embrace the fact that you're building a service-based business and you can afford to fail and fail hard, because you don't have massive expenses, you can be lean, you can take risks, and you can learn and grow so much more than you're probably pushing yourself right now. Lesson number 2, practice makes perfect. Sounds easy, sounds basic, I know, but I thought after building Online Biz Academy and doing hundreds of sales calls and feeling super confident in everything that I was doing in my process, after building Makua and selling to nonprofits and selling a software, and it was like a whole new world, I started to kind of underestimate my own abilities, and it felt like I was learning from scratch all over again. When the reality was I had a lot of the skills already, but I just had to practice with a new niche. I had to practice on sales calls. I had to practice selling a product or selling a software instead of a service. So my point is, I felt really uncomfortable on my sales calls at first, and I felt uncomfortable in everything that I was doing. But the more that I practiced, the more sales calls I did, the more I got used to selling and refining my message, the better and better I got, and the more confident I was in raising our prices. And my point is that I want to share with you, don't feel like you can't put yourself out there because you feel like you're not good enough yet. You need to just start speaking to people, start filming content, start making offers, and you're only going to get better by doing. You're not going to get better by, sitting there reading about it or reading blogs or taking courses. Of course, taking courses and mentors is extremely helpful, but you have to be doing the work yourself and just putting yourself out there and practicing while you do that. Practice makes perfect. You have to just keep practicing, and then one day you're going to wake up and realize, wow, I'm a master at this new skill set that, a year ago I was a total noob. Lesson number 3, message resonance is key. I can't tell you how often I'm refining and tweaking my outreach message and our website copy message with Makua, our tech startup, because you never know what is going to resonate with your niche just a little bit more. So we're constantly sending out, direct outreach messages and creating content. And it might just be one little word that you implement and change in your message that gets your niche to go, that really struck a chord with me, and that's why I booked a call, or that's why I purchased your service or your product. So make sure that you understand your niche's pain points, your niche's desires, and you are positioning you and your offer or your service or product as the hero that's going to help them bridge that gap and make that transformation. And then you need to communicate that message on how you're helping them make that transformation with language that they use, that you hear them say, little buzzwords that you go, ooh, okay, I can throw that in there. Not only does that make you sound like you know what you're talking about and you're an expert in your space, but it also strikes a chord with them. They're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. So don't underestimate message resonance. Always be iterating and editing your message until you can see what's really clicking. And the market is always evolving. So you might have the best message ever, but after 6 months, it might not be hitting like it used to. So always be tweaking and refining, and always be talking to your target customers or your customers to understand how they're speaking, what's the latest lingo, what are their current pains and desires. And if you do that, that is the essence of everything. Because remember, selling is just getting your message that resonates in front of your target audience any way you slice it. Whether it's cold outreach, value content, videos, ads, no matter what it is, your message that resonates in front of your target audience. Lesson number 4, following up and sequences are key. And I learned this the hard way. When I was building Online Biz Academy, I never, you might be shocked at this, but I would never send a follow-up message. I would only send out the initial outreach messages and post value content. If someone didn't respond, would never follow up. Didn't have an automated sequence, nothing. Which is shocking. I would not recommend doing that. With my tech startup, Makua, we send out hundreds of outreach messages per day to nonprofits. And if people don't respond, there's a follow-up, an automated follow-up that goes out. If they don't respond to that, there's another follow-up that goes out. If they don't respond to that, there's another one. And there's a series of 5 email sequences that get sent out until they respond. And the messages feel somewhat customized, right? By the way, I use a platform called close.com as my CRM. You can set up sequences and follow-ups using Close. It's an amazing CRM. I would highly recommend it for your service-based business, and also I use it for Makua, for my tech startup. It's wonderful, it's great, and it's super easy to use. Anyways, if you're not incorporating sequences and follow-ups into your outreach strategy, you are seriously missing out. The majority of my customers for Makua, for my tech startup, come from the follow-up messages, not from the first message. So think about how much I was missing out on when I wasn't sending those out for Online Biz Academy. Lesson number 5. Your 2 power tasks, regardless of what you're selling, I honestly believe, is cold outreach and value content. Whether you're selling, coaching, a course, a design agency, or a software, if you're not doing cold outreach to potential clients or customers and posting value content, positioning your expertise and positioning your product or service as the hero to help them bridge that gap, so educational content, then you are seriously missing the things that move the needle forward. Remember, 2 things you should be doing consistently always: cold outreach, value content. Finally, lesson number 6. Lesson number 6 is that every single thing you do in life, every experience that you have, every business you've had, every job you have, makes you smarter, makes you wholer, gives you more experience that applies to everything else you do going forward in your life. There is so much that I credit back to the times that I was a personal assistant, back to the times that I was working at a restaurant, that I apply now in my business. So just know that there's nowhere else you need to be. Where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. The universe is presenting to you the exact thing that you can handle, and just take the next step towards your mission or your vision. So don't feel like, oh, I'm not there yet, or oh, that's so different than what I'm doing now. It's like, no, every single thing is taking you closer to your path, and treat it that way. For example, the sales calls, sales mastery that I used to teach at OBA is the same exact sales process that I use selling a software. So I just want you to know you're in a good position. You're exactly where you need to be. It might seem hard right now, but it always gets harder in a good way, more and more challenging. So everything you're learning now is equipping you for your future experiences and for your journey to just become a wholer and greater person and to be able to add more value to the world. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that those 6 lessons were helpful in your journey building your service-based business. So push yourself out of your comfort zone, and thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next one.